The following is a presentation of the Retro Network.
Hey guys, it's your host Chad. Just wanted to pop in before we get started and say that Ken and I hope you and your family are having a wonderful summer here in 2026. The show you are about to hear is a special bonus episode that we recorded together with our loyal listener Jerospace a few months back. As the podcast has taken some scheduled time off, if you are hearing this, then we first want to thank you for pressing play, and then encourage you that if you aren't following us over on Instagram, please search us up and follow our page for some great nostalgic content. We'd also like to ask that if you can, please go and give us a rating or review over on the podcast platform that you use, whether it be Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or any other app. Or maybe you're old school and you listen directly from our website. If that's the case, go over on the contact page and drop us a line to let us know you're listening. Ken and I love doing this podcast, and we still have hundreds of more ideas and show topics lined up for the future. Like Jerospace, if you have interest in nostalgia and would possibly want to jump on a future show with us, let us know and we'll come up with some ideas. The best shows are the ones that we can get more than just the two of us involved. But even if you just go and comment on the episodes over on Instagram, that really helps us out and grows our audience. Plus, it's nice to hear that our little side venture is connecting with somebody out there in cyberspace. Alrighty, enough of me. Let's get to the 2026 summer bonus show of the Retro Resurgence. Thanks again, and we'll see you next month for episode 45. Hello and welcome to this bonus episode of the Retro Resurgence podcast. If you are listening to this episode, we hope you are having a great summer here in 2026. As the Retro Resurgence is on our usual summer break, we are releasing this as a special bonus episode of the show. My name is Chad, and with me, as usual, my tag team partner. He just came inside from having some fun in the sun. It's Ken. Ken, how are you today?
Chad, doing pretty good. Yeah, we're in the throes of summer here, and yeah, it's been going well so far. And yeah, we're excited to get this episode underway. It's a special episode for us, and we'll tell you why in a couple minutes. How you been doing?
Good, man. It's the dog days of summer, and here in the Carolinas, that just means heat, humidity, and boy, a lot of sweat, foggy glasses when I come out of the truck. It's
Right.
Just the typical thing here. But yes, of course, the summer break. We've had one last summer, Ken, when year one of our show. So, for us, it signifies the halfway point of the year. We've had a good year so far, I would say. We've had a lot of fun topics. We've had some fun guests. What are your thoughts on our first half of the year?
Yeah, man, I think it's been really great. Like you said, we've had a lot of great topics. We're still in our Weird Al bracket madness going on. We did top five Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, different topics all over the board. And yeah, and then after this, we'll be getting back into our regular schedule and we'll finish out the year. And we have a lot of great topics coming as the year goes on as well.
Yes, indeed. And listeners, we hope you're enjoying your summer with your family and your friends and getting those road trips, summer break trips underway or coming off of them. But we have a special episode for you here. This is something that Ken and I plan to release halfway through our break. And we're not alone. We actually have brought in somebody who's very special to us, somebody who we have just met in person. I would say in person in quotes, but through this video chat here. You listeners often hear us talk about our loyal listener. Well, let's put a name with that moniker. Straight from North Dakota himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Jeremy, a.k.a. Jerospace. Jeremy joins us tonight for this special bonus episode. Jeremy, first off, thanks for joining us, and how are you?
Doing good. Hello, everyone. It's good to be here.
Yes, we're glad to have you. And we were just talking off air. Ken and I often start our shows off our feedback with feedback from Jerospace. Our listeners should know by now, Jerospace is a frequent contributor to our feedback, and he's often over there on Instagram. And just in talking to Jeremy, he's been a follower of Retro Podcast for quite some time, been following TRN. That's our home ship, our home base, but he also has followed podcasts like The Retroist and others. So we're glad that Jeremy chose to subscribe to us, right, Ken?
Definitely, man. Yeah, like we always say, we pretty much lead off with either Jerospace or our buddy Jim at the busy signal. And yeah, Jeremy, you've been following us since the beginning, right?
Yes, I've been there since day one.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate your loyal listenership. And yeah, we approached Jeremy, I don't know, I'd say a month and a half, 2 months ago, right, Ken? And
Yeah.
just asked him if, he would want to be part of a show. He started also helping us, giving us some feedback over there on Yesterday Reimagined, our new vodcast over there on YouTube. And, one thing led to another, and we decided on today's show and we said, well, let's bring it in as a bonus show. And what a perfect way to get Jeremy started here with us. And we'll reveal the topic of today's show in a little bit. But Ken, I know you've got some business to do. You'd like to give our first time guest a little questionnaire. So why don't you get to it?
Yes, our first time guests on the show will receive the Retro Resurgence resume questions, Chad. Like we always do for first time guests, we give them these questions, kind of like a almost like a job interview if you were going to be like having a job like in the retro community or something like that. That's how we kind of look at it. And yeah, if Jeremy, if you're ready, let's get on to the questions. What do you say?
I am ready.
All right, here we go. Number one, name one real life retro event that makes you happy.
So I had to do a lot of thinking about this, really narrow it down. But for me, WrestleMania 2, Steel Cage match, watching Hulk Hogan defeat King Kong Bundy.
Nice.
I just got a lot of memories hanging out with the family and friends that night. We had friends over. And we, in our kids' minds, we actually thought that King Kong Bundy probably died after that match. So, and then he was on TV, the following week.
Yeah, of course.
That's an interesting pick, because some people would, if you're going to talk WrestleMania, some people may say one and some people may say three, but you're choosing number two. What are some of your memories of, did you watch it? Because I know back then the wrestling pay-per-views were on like closed circuit television. So did you order it at home or did you go somewhere and watch it?
I can't remember how we had watched it, but
Yeah.
it was at our house in the living room. I do remember being there with friends and
Yeah.
parents having friends over and we watched it. They must have somehow got the closed circuit on there. Not something that my parents would normally do, but it was a big event.
Yeah, Chad, like we talked about before, what some of those early WrestleMania years, man, it was like almost the Super Bowl because you had your living room packed full of people, and yeah, those were awesome events back in the day.
Yeah, and that would have been what, 86?
It was 86.
86,
86?
yeah,
Jeremy, how old
I
were
believe.
you?
I believe it was 86.
Yeah.
I'd
right.
have to go back and check on that.
Yeah. How old were you, 86?
I would have been 9.
Oh, okay. I was thinking maybe you were a teenager, you're a little younger. So, yeah, man, that's a great memory, man. Ken and I are you wrestling fans. Are you still a wrestling fan, or what's your wrestling fanship like these days?
Still a wrestling fan. I don't catch it as much on TV, but I like to watch the highlights on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's a great pick, I think, Ken.
Yeah, great way to start it off. A great answer. All right, you ready for number two?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, now we're going to go on the other side. Name one real life retro event that makes you sad.
So for this was definitely 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster. I remember being
Yeah,
at school and everybody was watching it. We watched it on the TV that was wheeled in, and then we got home that night and everybody watched it on TV all night.
yeah. Chad, that is also my answer for this question on the website. If you go to the About section of both of us, we have our answers to these, and that is also my answer for this question as well. Yeah, I was like 12, almost 12 years old, and I remember watching it in school as well and just being like, what just happened?
Yeah, man, I think one of those events, unfortunately, every several years, you have one of those events where you remember where you were or what you were doing or who you were with, and
Right.
that's that Space Shuttle Challenger event. Probably, I was only 3, so I don't remember it. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
even been in school to have
Right.
remembered it, but yeah, man, I think for people that are a little older than me, that one hits home a lot. So, good pick.
Yep. All right. Going into number three. Who or what is one of your favorite fictional retro characters?
So I've always liked to cheer for the bad guys, and the favorite one of mine would be Cobra Commander.
Ah, all right. Any specific reason why?
You never really won, but I always cheered for him to win. He's kind of the underdog that you always wanted to see at least win once.
Yeah, and I believe the voice actor who did his voice in the cartoon also did the voice of Starscream in Transformers. I want to say, if that's right, I believe.
Yes, I believe that's right.
All right, so Cobra Command. Well, Jerospace, your little avatar on the Discord is the Cobra logo, so I can definitely see that answer.
Was that a big toy line for you growing up, Jeremy?
That was my favorite toy line. I had a whole bunch of characters and vehicles and never missed the cartoon.
Right. Yeah, definitely one of those ones that you had to catch coming home from school back in the day. I think it was on in the afternoon, early evening back then. All right. Well, let's get to our last question here for Jeremy. Who or what is one of your least favorite fictional retro characters?
So this one's probably going to get a lot of hate. But I cannot stand Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, wow. All right.
Oh,
Cannot stand Pee Wee Herman.
hot take.
Exactly.
Just wasn't my kind of show, I guess.
Now, were you a fan of the movie or did you just like the movie and the TV show? Both?
I never seen the movies until way, way later.
Okay.
And the TV show, when that would come on, it was just time for me to go find something else to do.
Right. Yeah,
Just
Pee Wee's
enjoyed it.
Playhouse. That would come on, I think, later on the Saturday morning cartoon. So when that came on, you're just like, I'm heading outside.
Yep, I was done at that point.
All right.
Now, Jeremy, do you think it was due to the fact that in the 80s, there was a just a overuse of Pee Wee? I mean, you had him, he would show up on late night talk shows, he'd show up in movies and television shows, or was it just the fact that his style, his delivery, his humor was just not your cup of tea?
I kind of think it was just his voice.
His voice.
I just couldn't stand the Pee Wee voice.
That's understandable.
I'll say I don't think I've ever seen an episode of the TV show, just the little bits I have, it seems like the movies were great because like for me they were just like you had like 2 hours of Pee Wee and the voice and the style and the humor and all like that. But I don't know, maybe if I had seen the TV show, maybe I'd have a little different opinion. But yeah, that's I guess that's a little hot take there in the retro community because
Yeah,
yeah, he's most people were revered as
right.
one of the icons, but
Well,
yeah, in Jeremy's mind is a little bit overrated.
yeah. Well,
Stir the
then,
pot a bit, I guess.
Yeah, man, nothing wrong with sticking to your guns.
yeah. Yeah, Chad, those are some really good answers. You got WrestleMania 2, the Space Shuttle, Cobra Commander, and Pee Wee Herman. Great answers for the resume. So, yeah, I think we would hire you, Jerospace, if we were actually hiring for a job. So, great answers.
Well,
Yeah,
excellent. Thank you.
yeah, when can you start? That's what that's
Yeah.
our next question. So.
Yeah,
Start tonight.
that's right.
Alrighty. Well, let's go to a commercial break, Ken, and when we come back, we'll get to our main topic of our bonus show.
Sounds good.
You're tuned in to the Retro Resurgence podcast, and we'll be right back after these messages.
The decade of decadence, the 1980s, is primed and ready for you to rediscover in podcast form. Celebrating the pop culture that made us, the Rediscover the 80s podcast has several unique shows that explore our favorite decade. Our lineup includes Memory Jogger podcasts, Rank 'em, and various interviews to whet your appetite. Listen to the Rediscover the 80s podcast in your favorite listening apps. The Rediscover the 80s podcast, helping you reconnect with your favorite pop culture from the 1980s.
All right, we are back here on our bonus summer show of the Retro Resurgence. And Chad, why don't you tell us what we're going to talk about tonight here?
Well, Ken, we got with Jeremy a while back and, decided, what we want to talk about. And then we decided on the format. Listeners of our show are going to know the ABC format that we like to do. I think the last time we did it, Ken, what did we do? The ABCs of wrestling, right?
The wrestling, yep.
Yeah, and I think Jeremy commented on that show a couple months back. And yeah, we went A to Z through the terms and people and figures of wrestling. And so we're going to go back to that format here for the bonus show, except we are going to talk about board games.
Yeah.
Board games is a topic I think we delved into once before with our friend Wyatt, who runs Rediscover the 80s. We did all the way back in October of 24, I would think, Ken.
Yeah, I want to say it was episode 4 of the show where we had Wyatt on and we've talked about I think it was our 3 favorite board games. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so it's been a while since we touched on the board games, but we have 3 of us here, so we divvied up the alphabet A to Z, and we're just gonna go round table and talk about board games that start with each letter of the alphabet. So a format, Ken, we love to do, and now we have
Yes.
Jeremy take his little load off of our research. We didn't have to research quite as much. So
Right.
Jeremy, we hope you brought some good facts and some good trivia to the letters that you have.
I believe I got some lined up.
All right. Sounds good. All right, Chad. Well, I can't remember who got the distinction of going first with the letter A tonight.
Well, it wasn't me, unless it was you, Ken. I think that would be our
Nope.
special guest of honor, Jeremy, might be kicking us off.
All right.
It was me with the first letter. So I'm a huge retro video game fan. So while I have not played this game, I found Atari's Missile Command from 2018 by IDW Games.
Wow. Okay.
So it's based on the 1980 game of the same name. It says, as global tensions mount, leaders of powerful nations sit ready to defend their people and destroy their enemies. Alliances are formed, yet fragile. Deals are made, but not always upheld. Diplomacy is just as important as strategic planning and procuring armaments. The missiles are at your command. The choice is yours. Fire on your enemies or betray your allies in Atari's missile command.
All right. So this is a board game, huh? 2018?
It is one of the newer ones.
Wow. Okay. Do you have a company? Does it say a company that it's from?
It's IDW Games.
IDW. Okay. That's a new one on me. How about you, Chad?
Yeah, I'm actually over here on BoardGameGeek.com, which, by the way, is a great resource. I don't know if you guys discovered it in your resources, but
I
board
did,
game,
yeah.
I
yeah,
use that
board
quite a
game,
bit. Yep.
yeah, BoardGameGeek.com. I'm pulling it up. Yeah, probably going to be one of the newer ones, I think, in the whole show here. It's got a cool looking, very retro Atari 80s-esque design, so definitely gets a plus for me on the look. But yeah, this looks definitely cool. You have memories of the Atari there, Jeremy? Would that be why you chose it?
Yes, I started with the Atari system back probably in the early 80s, actually.
Okay. And have you ever played this recent board game or no?
I have not played this game,
Okay.
but it looks interesting. It's something I'd definitely be interested in buying and trying out with my son. He likes to play board games, so
Yeah. Did you have this video game for the Atari?
yes, I did.
Okay. Can't remember if you said that or not, but yeah, that was so it was one of your favorite titles of the Atari, you'd say?
I would say probably one of my medium
Medium.
favorites. Not one of the top favorites, but
I got you.
there's missiles and nukes and interceptors in this game, and you forge alliances with people, and then you can betray them. Very, very cool. Yeah, a lot of strategy involved.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, definitely sounds like a strategy kind of type of game, which there's a lot of those out there. I can't say I've played a lot of them, but those ones that require strategy and thinking are definitely a category of their own.
All right. Well, great way to start off. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm also on the website looking at it. Yeah, it looks pretty nice.
All
Looks
right, well, let's
fun.
go to letter B for me, and we're going to go back. To me, the 80s was the era of the board game. You know, of course, board games existed prior and after this decade, but the heart of a lot of board games for me are going to be found in this 1980s decade. I'm going to go from a title from Milton Bradley. We definitely know that game publisher.
Oh,
And
yeah.
my letter B, it's a double word score here. If we're playing Scrabble, it's actually bed bugs
Ah, all right.
from 1985.
Bedbugs! Bedbugs! Delfino sleep today! Bedbugs! Bedbugs! Such a crazy game to play!
Bedbugs is the frantic new catch and capture game where you pick a color and then scramble to get the most bugs.
Bedbugs! Bedbugs! Don't let them get away! Bedbugs! Bedbugs! It's a wacky game to play! Bedbugs! Bedbugs! Delfino sleep today! Bedbugs! Bedbugs! Don't get carried away!
Bedbugs from Milton Bradley. It'll drive you buggy.
So, any of you
Yes.
guys own this game or played this game?
I want to say I don't think I had it specifically, but I know one of my cousins had it and we would play it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about this game till I looked it up now. Great pick. Yes, we did have it.
Yeah, I think it was a very common game. I think you find it a lot in the catalogs, you know, Christmas time, and one of Milton Bradley's prominent board games. So, you know, basically the premise, you got two D batteries in a device that resembles a bed. You dump plastic bug pieces of four differing colors, and you push the button, and the bed begins to vibrate. And pretty simple. The first to collect all their bugs with their oversized tweezers is the winner. I imagine this is an extremely noisy game.
Yeah, yeah.
You can definitely categorize a lot of games based on how annoying or loud it is. And newer versions have been made since by Hasbro. And I think overall, it's obviously kind of a weird thing to you know, because bugs in your bed is not something you want to come home to find anything. But you know, obviously this isn't really talking about the literal problem of bed bugs. But I think it's a pretty good game for kids. For, you know, you practice your hand-eye coordination. So I would imagine the age level on this would be pretty young, and even somebody like my daughter, currently 4 years old, would probably enjoy this for a few years. But anything else you guys have on bed bugs?
Just that like you said, Chad, I do believe it was a pretty noisy game because any game that you have to throw batteries in is probably going to make some kind of noise. And back in the day, those games were pretty noisy if it required batteries. But yeah, man, that's a good pick to start off with for you. Yeah,
I remember it being fairly noisy, and I think that's probably why we played it. Just annoy the parents a little bit, right?
yeah, of course,
Yeah, until they had enough and took the batteries out and hit them.
right.
All right, that's letter B. So Ken, you're up with letter C.
All right, letter C for me. This is going to come as probably no surprise to you, Chad. You know how I love cereal here. So my first board game is going to come by way of Captain Crunch. And this game is called Captain Crunch Island Adventure Game. This is from 1986 and is from the publisher Warren. 2 to 4 players. Now, like other cereal prizes back in the day, this game was available by sending money and UPC symbols. The game was packaged complete with miniature Captain Crunch, the Sog Master, and 2 glow-in-the-dark Soggies. Not a whole lot to this game. It says the object was to be the first member of the captain's crew to find the Sog Master, overcome his soggy tricks, and recover the captain's treasure. You are essentially using cards and dice to go up a typical Candyland-esque board, and then you got to choose the card you advance with out of a hand of 3. So, yeah, nothing too much to this game. We love our cereal here on the show, and I never actually knew about this game until I did some research, but I thought it'd be a cool for C with Captain Crunch to start off with. I don't suspect, Chad, you probably remember this game. What about you, Jeremy?
I don't remember this one at all, but the
Okay.
cover of the board game looks amazing.
Yeah, it's great artwork.
I don't know too many other serials that crossed over into board games. You had some crossovers into some other things, pop culture, but yeah,
Yeah.
Captain Crunch. Now, I'm curious, how many UPCs would you have to mail off to get this? Because you imagine, shipping and handling on this would be quite substantial with it being a larger board game.
Yeah, it doesn't really say here on the website that I'm the boardgeek.com. It doesn't say how many it actually took that you needed to send in, but you probably had to wait that 6 to 8 week time period before you got it.
Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, such a big part of 80s lore, the Captain Crunch and
Oh,
all the cereal mascots. So to
right, for
have to
sure.
have a bowl of Captain Crunch and then, clear the breakfast table and lay out the
Yeah.
board game was probably a pretty cool experience back in the 80s.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah. Cool. And I'm guessing pulling this information, the screenshots off of Board Game Geek, that's where you're getting
Yes.
your stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, we gotta give that a link here in the show notes. That's been a
Yeah, for
really
sure.
good resource there.
Yep.
Alrighty, moving right along. I guess Jeremy, you're up with letter D.
So I'm going to go with another Milton Bradley game, and this time it's 1982's Donkey Kong,
Oh, nice.
based on the 1981 arcade game. So the goal of the game is to achieve the highest score by playing action cards that allow jumping over or hitting obstacles, which are barrels and fireballs. And the subtitle reads, "Can you battle Donkey Kong and save the fair maiden?" So this actually came with a giant Donkey Kong where you could put a barrel in one arm and then push the other barrel or the other arm down, and the barrel came out onto the
Oh,
board.
nice.
So I'd completely forgot that we had this one too until I looked it up, and I do remember playing it with my friends, and I think I even got my mom to play this a few times with me.
Nice. God, yeah, Chad, I bet you a lot of there was a lot of video game crossover into board games, especially back in the 80s. And yeah, man, Jeremy, the artwork on this board game looks awesome as well. I think that'll be a recurring theme here too. A lot of the artwork that crossed over into these board games. Yeah, man.
Yeah, the board itself was set up just like the playfield on the Donkey Kong video game.
Yeah, I didn't even know this game existed, man.
I don't either, man. It makes me I would love to find one in the wild, although I'd be afraid of how much they'd want for it,
Right.
in good condition. So I'm trying to. This is obviously it's a two-dimensional board, but
Yeah.
I see Jeremy the Donkey Kong, and he's got this little lever, and it drops the barrel. Does the barrel after that roll? What's the
The barrel just comes out his arm and it just sits at the top of the board. And then when you roll the red dice, the barrels and the fireballs, you got to move them according to what you
Oh,
rolled. And then the white dice is the way that the Mario character will start climbing the board.
okay.
As he reaches the top, that's why you win.
I got
Cool.
you.
Man, I'm gonna do some eBay searching for this one because this looks pretty cool. I never had this game as a kid.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Ken. Looking to see what somebody had it going for. I
Yeah.
imagine this is obviously early '80s, so like technology and innovation was still yet to be. But I imagine if they had waited a little bit, of course, then you would have lost the whole Donkey Kong craze. But they if they had somehow made this into the later in the decade and then incorporated like a 3D element to it,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like in our board game episode, Ken, Wyatt talked about Fireball Island, and
Right.
you have like Mousetrap, those games that were not just X and Y axis, right? You had like the 3D element to it. So I imagine this would
Yeah.
have been a great game to adapt to a almost like a version 2. They would have made, something that actually the barrels did roll somehow
Right.
down the that'd be cool though, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, I'm one of those things too that arcade helped sales and then of course
Oh
eventually
yeah.
helped the consoles. So Milton Bradley, do we also say that's going to be a common theme there with that publisher?
Yeah, I'm sure that'll come up a lot tonight.
Yeah.
A lot of my picks are.
All right.
Yeah, they were
Well,
the king, it seems like.
yeah. Another great pick from Jeremy there.
Yep. All right, well then I've got letter E, and this was a little harder for me, but I'm gonna go with electric or electronic battleship.
Ah,
Um,
nice.
Man your battle stations.
Man your battle stations. It's electronic talking battleship from Milton Bradley. So real it really talks.
Battleship armed.
Battleship armed. We're talking instant programming, free skill levels, and only Milton Bradley's got them.
Carrier hit.
Carrier hit. Against the computer or opponent, your mission, sink the enemy's fleet.
Battleship sunk.
Battleship sunk.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Electronic talking battleship and original battleship, only from Milton Bradley.
yeah, since I did have letter B and I could have went normal battleship, but then I needed a letter for E, a game for E, so I chose electronic battleship. So just a little bit of a history. It's got a pretty cool history. So Battleship, the original game, was actually invented, they say, in the 1930s, basically a paper and pen version.
Yeah.
That actually began early in the 1900s, and then in the 30s they developed sort of a graph paper version. So now you're starting to see the grids, like the traditional, but it was still done with paper and pencil. The inventor of the prototype, who worked for Hasbro, tried to get them to produce the game, but Hasbro retained the intellectual property. But then a few years later, Milton Bradley made the first board game version in 1967. I thought this was interesting. It featured an illustration of a father and son playing the game while the mother and the daughter were in the background doing dishes. You guys have to pull up the board game, the original cover for the board game. So obviously, you had a few people who thought the sexism there was pretty bad. So in the 70s, they had that out for a few years, and in the 70s, they changed the cover art to a photograph of a male and female child playing. So, you
Yeah.
know, uh, kind of get away from that stereotype of what families were pretty much thought to be. But we all kind of know Battleship, the more modern version of Battleship. You have plastic game pieces with red and white pegs on a grid board. In 1977, Electronic Battleship came out. And then in 1984, the game got updated to a more 80s sort of looking vibe with the typography, and the color. Really made it look more sci-fi and stuff, whereas before it really didn't have that look. And then the version that I'm talking about was established in 1989, and it came out with the electronic talking battleship,
Yeah.
and it added the voice commands. So, you plugged in your coordinates and then you fired your missiles, and then of course you heard the out of the little speaker that was attached, and it'd have the sounds of explosions and stuff like that. Or you'd see, once you sunk that battleship sunk. Very electric sounding 80s sound there. So
Yeah.
curious, you guys, I'm sure we probably all probably played Battleship, but did you guys own it? What are y'all's memories of any version of Battleship?
Yeah, go ahead, Jeremy. I'll let you go first.
So I remember having this. I did not realize it was 1977 when the first one came out, but we definitely had it. We played it a lot as kids. It's that back-to-back version, which made it fun that way. Yeah, and I remember having. I'm pretty sure we had a travel Battleship board game back in the day.
Yep,
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah, I also remember, I believe I had the normal version, and I think one of my cousins had the electronic battleship, and that was such a big upgrade from the regular one. And yeah, I think when that one came out, we played nothing but the electronic one from there on out once that one came out. Yeah, fun though.
Yeah, of course you just had to make sure the batteries were fresh, and
Yeah.
and then you were good. But yeah, I mean, it's a simple concept, but definitely the theme of the whole naval warfare kind of thing, definitely attracted probably a specific male kind of audience. But yeah, it's fun, and the whole back to back thing, like Jeremy said, it makes it unique because there's not a lot of games you're gonna have that style. So yeah, electronic talking battleship is my choice for E.
So you had to make sure you got your batteries back from the bed bugs game after the parents took them away.
That's right.
Put them in this game.
Yeah. All right, that's going to bring us to F. And my choice for F is a 1987 game from Parker Brothers called Fun City. Now, this game I had never heard of either until, doing the research, and I thought it looked pretty cool. In this game, players compete to race all over the board to locations like the Bowl-A-Gnome and the Super Duper Market and collect points. Players can use special movement cards, dice rolls, the bus, taxi, or even shortcuts through stores to get there first and claim your reward. Each player has a hand of 3 crazy cards to modify their movement and combines them with their dice roll to move along a number of paths through the city streets in an effort to reach one of the 4 Fun City cards active at any one point in time. There's different places in the game, like I said, the Super Duper Market, the library, and then as there's a set time frame, and the smaller the time frame, the more valuable it is. There's a clock in the game called the Fun City Bank. When the clock reaches 5 minutes, players tally the Fun City cards they've collected to determine the winner. Yeah, so this one, like I said, I'd never heard of this game or even played it. I didn't know about it until doing the research. I don't know. Jeremy, have you heard of this game or played it?
I have not heard of this one. But
Okay.
the artwork on the game itself is amazing.
Yeah, like a lot of these games, the artwork is probably sometimes better than the actual game if you probably
Yeah.
at some point or another. Chad, how about you?
No, never heard of it, but the board gives me vibes of Clue,
Yeah.
instead of rooms, you
Yeah.
have basically areas of the city. So yeah, I guess the point of it was to collect cards, or was there nothing
Yeah,
to do with money, right?
nothing to do with money.
Okay.
It just says, yeah, the first player to collect who has the most amount of cards is determined the winner. So yeah, that's basically it for this game.
Okay. And another that's Parker Brothers, which
Right.
if it wasn't Milton Bradley, it was probably Parker Brothers. Those were the two dominant
Yeah.
game producers, I think.
Right.
So, all right, good pick there, Ken.
All right.
Okay, Jeremy, who you got for your next letter?
So going back to the Cobra Commander pick, I'm going to go with G.I. Joe Commando Attack by Milton Bradley.
It's G.I. Joe against Cobra the enemy in the Commando attack game.
Cobra! You're a prisoner, Flint.
The G.I. Joe Commando Attack game puts you in the middle of the action.
Stole him at the river.
G.I. Joe,
Gotcha, Destro.
Whether you're Cobra or the Joe team, your combat mission's the same. Capture prisoners, invade your enemy supply depot, and destroy its headquarters.
Joe, Joe!
Milton Bradley's G.I. Joe Commando Attack game. You can also play it with your own G.I. Joes.
This game was released in 1985, and you have cardboard figures and cardboard buildings and like cardboard jail. So we got this game at a garage sale when we were kids, and everything was there except for the instructions. So we never had an idea how to use it. So as kids with imaginations, we were able to basically make our own rules. And I remember playing this for days and days and days. We kind of played it like chess. Just kind of set up our own rules where certain guys could only move certain ways and try to capture the other team.
Right. Yeah, man. If back in the day, if you didn't have an instruction manual, you made up your own rules, and that could be even more fun than actually how you were really supposed to play the game.
So the cardboard characters that you had, you could put them on these stands. These stands also had a little peg in them so that you could use your real G.I. Joe people and put their foot in that peg.
Oh, no, that's smart.
Characters.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's genius there by G.I. Joe or Milton Bradley, whoever thought of that idea. Because sometimes you probably would get to just pull out your own collection. And all right, I'm looking at here eBay, by the way, $300 for a for a used
The
one.
board, the board was very big too.
That's what it actually features on the board. It says an oversized game board, 9 square feet.
Wow.
And Ken, you'll love this. In the board game, Jeremy, if your version may have not had this, but every version of the board game came with an iron-on team badge.
Dude.
So
Yeah.
it's very much reminiscent of all the cereals that we make up in AI. You always got to throw something extra there for the purchase. Did you get that iron-on there, Jeremy? Probably not.
Ours did have that, and unfortunately,
Oh, it did.
Yeah, unfortunately, that got lost to time somewhere along the line.
Oh.
I still have a few of the cardboard characters that somehow got saved and stuck in a box that I found at my parents' place here a couple of years ago.
Nice.
And I have those displayed now.
And then, guys, I'm also looking. That was in 1985, right, Jeremy?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking here. It looks like the next year, Melton Bradley did another one, 1986. It was called Live the Adventure. And I wonder if the success of the first one made them could come out with another one. But it looks like there were several board games over the years.
Yeah, like we said, man, video games and cartoons were probably, big sellers for board games back then. You probably shoot, man, I bet you go into any store back in the day and board games were everywhere.
I'd love to go back and buy this one again, but $300 a little bit steep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a good pick and very right in your wheelhouse there, Jeremy, based off your answers on the resume earlier. So, all right. Well, I think my choice is up. I'm going to go with letter H. And this is a game me and my sister had. I chose it basically pure nostalgia. It's called Hot Potato. And this came from Parker Brothers in 1988. We owned this game. It must have just been something Mom decided we should have because I don't remember us pining for it. But it's pretty simple. We were going to have been less than 5 years old when this game came our way. But it's basically a stuffed fabric potato character that I realized I just learned recently his name was Chip O'Gratton. He was born in Idaho, and he's basically this little fabric potato has an electronic box with a push button that would start playing Pop Goes the Weasel. The object of the game was the Pop Goes the Weasel. It would stop at random times, and if you were the one holding the potato when the music stopped, you would have to draw a card, and you would draw the letter H, and then if you got stuck with it again, you go O and then T. So it's kind of like in basketball, horse. Once you collect all the letters, you're out. So that was we threw this around, and we didn't even have the cards most of the time. We just threw it, and there were probably with Pop Goes the Weasel, there were probably only about 5 or 6 different places where the music stopped. So you kind of learned after a while, okay, you better get rid of it because it's going to probably stop at this moment. But it was pretty cool, and we had it for a while. We probably just had. I think at one time we didn't have the board game. We just had it in a Ziploc bag along with the cards because it was literally just the potato and the cards, and that's all you needed. No board or anything. But a 1995 version was also made, but this is one for ages 4 and up. I'm curious, did you guys ever have this game come your way?
I had not seen this one before.
Yeah, 1988. I was 14 years old, and yeah, I may have seen it, going through the store aisles back in the day, but yeah, I never had this game.
Yeah, it's one that again just kind of happenstance is very memorable for us for being kids. And remember just that potato. You won't ever forget some of the pieces of the board game. So a stuffed potato is one that you're not going to find in other board games. So that's my pick for letter H, hot potato.
All right, good pick. All right, that's going to bring me to my pick, letter I. And my pick is from 2008 from Parker Brothers. And this is the Indiana Jones DVD adventure game. So this is a board game based on the popular Indiana Jones movie franchise, which allows players to take on the role of Indiana himself as they embark on thrilling adventures and face dangerous challenges. Uh, the game components, you have the interactive DVD that features scenes from Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. It comes with 24 temple tiles, one Hall of Ancestors start tile, and then various other game pieces and tokens. The game includes an interactive DVD that drives the gameplay, providing scenes and challenges from the Indiana Jones movies. The goal is to navigate through the temples, solve puzzles, and overcome challenges to achieve the final objective, which is typically related to retrieving an artifact or escaping the temple. Yeah, so back, I want to say the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a lot of these DVD interactive games, wouldn't you say, Chad?
Yeah, and actually, one of my later picks is going to involve a movie or VHS. So,
Okay.
yeah, but like you said, yeah, the DVD when DVDs came out, man, it seemed like a lot of board games wanted to involve that for
Yeah.
interaction. So, yeah,
Yeah, I even think the NFL had a game that included a VHS tape back in the
yep.
day too. Yeah, so Jeremy, do you remember this game at all?
I did not have this one either. I don't remember this one, but the
Okay.
board on this one is not your typical square board. I see
No.
the tiles are all over and like a maze pattern. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my pick for I, Indiana Jones.
Cool. Y'all fans of the movie series?
I'm a fan of the first three movies. The last two, in my opinion, not so great, but yeah, I like the first three.
Yeah. How about you, Jeremy?
I think the last one was the worst one, but I do like all the movies.
Okay.
The last one seemed kind of like it dragged on a little too much for me.
Yeah.
All right. Who's up next? Jeremy, you're next.
Jared.
It is
Yep.
me. Yes.
All right.
So the letter J, I got Jeopardy for this one.
Ah.
It was originally released in 1964 by Milton Bradley. So in most editions, there are 5 categories. Each category has $5 amounts. Behind each dollar amount is an answer or a trivia clue having to do with the category. When a player thinks he or she knows the correct response to the clue, that person signals and responds in a form of a question. A player is rewarded with the amount associated with the statement if correct, and penalized the corresponding amount if incorrect. So I don't think we had Jeopardy as kids, not that I remember, but I played it a lot in video games. I played it on iPads.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those franchises that's reinvented itself for, games over the years and many different versions. Yeah. Chad, we even do some Jeopardy games here on the show.
Yeah, man, it's a common format for games and interaction. The version you're talking about, Jeremy, obviously 1964 predates Alex Trebek, who obviously was the longtime host of the television version. But I see that there were probably several versions where he was on the cover, you know?
Yes, yes, lots of different versions I think came out of this game.
Yep, good pick and yeah, iconic.
Yeah.
Board game seems video game adaptations seemed just a natural based off of the TV show. So
Yeah.
It's one of the big names.
yep. Alrighty, so we're halfway through here, I would say, and my letter K is a game called Kerplunk.
Ah, yeah, good one. I love
Yeah,
this game.
this was invented in 1967 by Eddie Goldfarb. Remember that name because he's going to come up again in one of my other picks. But
Okay.
this was marketed by the Ideal Toy Company. And Ken, you remember one of our ABC shows for toy lines or toy companies,
Yes.
Ideal Toy Company was brought up.
Yep.
This was a popular game in the United Kingdom in the 70s. Basically, you have a transparent cylindrical tube and you insert plastic sticks in the middle of the tube, and then you pour the marbles in the top of the tube, and each player takes turns pulling out a stick of their choosing, hoping that no marbles fall into their tray. The winner is the player who has the least number of marbles when all the marbles have fallen out of the tube. Tyco bought Ideal Toy Company in 1989, and then Mattel bought Tyco in 1997. And we talked about that, Ken, in our toy episode where
Yes.
the smaller toy companies just got bought by either Mattel or Hasbro, and
Yeah.
it was basically
Yeah.
those running the
Yep.
show. But Goldfarb was a toy inventor that was most famous for some of his other famous toy inventions, most notably the yakety yak chattering teeth. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The little chattering teeth. I remember on the Christmas Story, the teacher had one in her
Yeah.
drawer and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yep, I
that.
remember this.
And this is probably the most wildest fact about Eddie Goldfarb. He was born in 1921, and according to my research, this cat is still alive.
Wow.
That would put him at about 105 years old.
Yeah.
And God, man, if he's 105, man, the stories this guy could tell.
Yeah.
And he actually is invented one of my other picks that will come up later. But Eddie Goldfarb is a name to definitely keep there in your head because he was just an idea man. He had all kind of ideas and
Yeah.
some I'm sure some stuck and some didn't. But he was the one that invented Kerplunk. So what are y'all's memories, interactions with Kerplunk?
Well, mine is, of course, there's been many different versions of the game, and I remember having this game when my older children now were younger. Back in the early 2000s, we did have a version of this game, and yeah, we had fun playing it back in the day. Back early 2000s. I don't think I ever played it as a kid myself, but later on in life with my kids, we definitely played this game quite a bit.
Chad, did you have the 1967 version?
No, I didn't have any version. But when I saw it, I kind of like wish I would have had one of these growing up, but no, I never had any of the versions.
So we must have had the original 1967 version, and I remember the spikes that you pull out of there were very pointy.
Yeah,
By today's standards, you probably wouldn't have that anymore. But I'm pretty sure that I remember poking my fingers trying to pull them out of there, but it was worth it if you win, right?
Yeah, that's another aspect of these games there, Ken. It's like now you have to think about, oh man, am I going to get sued if my board pieces, end up lodged in somebody else's arm or something.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I see some different pictures here where they had the rounded ends on them, so a lot less dangerous. Look more like oars than javelins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very reminiscent of a game. Well, I don't know if anybody will have it, but a game called Pickup Sticks. Those sticks were really pointy as well back in the day. All right, Chad. That brings to my pick letter L, and this is a classic Milton Bradley game, originally from 1960, and this is the game of life.
I made $50,000 in the stock market today. I had twins. I went to the poor farm. I'm on Millionaire Acres. That's life.
The game of life. The game of life. You will learn about life when you play the game of life. First you start out with 2,000 and a car.
I got a car.
You got a car. Then you may go straight to college just to get a lot of knowledge.
Harvard.
Or to business if you think you'll go as far.
I'll be a star.
You may go far. The game of life. The game of life.
Pay me. I'll get revenge.
You'll get revenge.
I got revenge.
Got revenge. Milton Bradley makes the best games in the world. So play the game of life.
That's life.
Which we all pretty much know that one, I believe.
Yeah.
This game attempts to mirror life events many people go through, from going to college, raising a family, buying a home, working, and retiring. The intent of the game is to have the most assets at the end of the game, primarily by working and earning tokens with dollar amounts on them. Additionally, the first person to complete the course gets additional money tokens. Now, this game, like most of these games, have had many different versions over the years. In general, the newer the printing, the gentler the rules. The 1960s original can be quite brutal if the players choose to act on all the options made available to them. But the most recent versions are suitable for young children without parental supervision. Here's just some other versions that have come out over the years. There's a Wizard of Oz from 2008, a Star Wars Jedi's Path from 2002, The Simpsons and SpongeBob from 2004, and then there's a game called Twists and Turns from 2007. So yeah, definitely a game that has stood the test of time and has changed over the years, but pretty much the same objective applies for all the different versions. So that's my pick for L, is life.
I did not have Game of Life, but I see that they have the Haunted Mansion version on here as well, and that looks amazing.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's right on Board Game Geek, right there in the first few images there. I was going to mention that too, Jeremy. Yeah, it's yeah, I had a lot of memory. I think I actually picked it, Ken, in our board game episode as one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, over time, things that probably the career choices have changed, some of the scenarios have changed, the different style houses you would buy. I mean,
yeah.
But the overall arcing theme is to, go through life trying to survive and avoid the pitfalls. Isn't that what we're all here trying to do, right?
That's it.
Yeah, I could see them though. Also, I was just thinking of the different versions. I could also see in them. You know how like today's games, there's a lot of adult party games where little. I would thinking, what's the one that people love? The one that came out about 10 years ago. It's that card game. It's like on adult party night. What is it called?
Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah. That's it. I could see the game of life. I could see the game of life doing something like that, where you have scenarios that are a little bit more adult themed. It would be good for a party night. But yeah, very iconic game, and obvious choice there for me if you're talking about letter L. So
yeah, all right.
Letter M. Just want to give a shout out to Wyatt and Jason for this one. I know this is a pick they're going to like. The Mask Raid and Rescue.
Oh, Mask. All right.
By Parker Brothers, 1985. So Venom has captured several Mask super vehicles. Your mission as a member of Mask Force is to locate and recover these valuable super vehicles. But beware, Venom spies have infiltrated the Mask Force. Disguised as Mask members, these Venom agents can surface at any time and take your super vehicles. So I didn't have this one until recently. Actually, we have a secondhand store in town, and I had found it there, and I got it for $1.
Wow.
Whoa.
Did it come complete? Did it have everything with it?
It's complete. The
Oh,
box is a little bit rough. You can tell it's definitely a 1985, but
yeah.
it is complete. It is all there.
Nice. Yeah, definitely Jason and Wyatt staple there, Chad. Mask.
Yeah, and another example of a cartoon come to life in board game form. So,
Right.
yeah, they followed the G.I. Joe followed them, or they followed G.I. Joe, one or the other.
Yeah.
I was never, I never had, never seen a single episode of Mass, so my fandom there doesn't really hold anything. But were y'all big fans of the show, Jeremy or Ken?
I really enjoyed it. It was kind of almost a mix of G.I. Joe with Transformers with they had the super powered masks and the vehicles that could kind of turn into different vehicles. So yeah, I was a big fan of the first season, especially.
Yeah, I put it up there just below G.I. Joe for myself. I remember watching it quite a bit. I
Yeah,
had
and
vehicles as a kid, even the 57 Chevy.
yeah. In the board game, the cover of this board game looks awesome too. Just right off the TV screen with the artwork on that cover of this game.
Yeah, it's very cool artwork.
Yeah. All right, another
props to you, Jeremy, for not choosing Monopoly.
yeah.
That have just been phoning it in there.
Having just found this one and got it for $1, and with Jason and Wyatt liking it, I had to definitely put this on here.
Nice.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Great pick.
All right, my letter N is a game called Numbers Up. And I told you about Eddie Goldfarb, the 105-year-old man who's still roaming the earth. He invented this game. This one is a race against the clock memory game where you find scrambled pegs in numerical order, you basically 1 through 20, and you try to beat the clock. So I kind of think of it like this would be kind of like the game Perfection, where you're matching the shapes,
right?
And you've got a timer. The rule was that you can only handle one peg at a time, but to make it easier, some players would try to use both hands to try to beat their scores. This age from 7 to 14. The good thing is on this game, no batteries were required, so it was just more of a mechanical thing.
Yeah.
But, invented by Goldfarb, and in 1975 he invented it, and then he had newer editions come out in 81 and 82. So yeah, nothing real fancy about this. It's just more of a memory game. It's kind of a beat the clock.
Yeah.
Anybody have any memories of Numbers Up or Milton
Chad,
Bradley?
well, you just unlocked a memory for me because I had forgot about this game and didn't remember until I just looked at one of the images here on the website and seeing the way the game looks with the green pegs. I think I had this game when I was a younger kid, and I haven't thought about it until right now. So you unlocked one for me there, man.
Yeah, I did not have this, but it looks really familiar, so I'm guessing that I might have played it before, maybe at a friend's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little pegs remind me of the pegs from Trouble, the board game Trouble.
Right.
But you flip them over, and then you just basically put them in order. So yeah, it's a single player game. I guess you could go not really head to head, but try to beat your friend's score. So yeah, pretty cool. But probably one of those games that after you played it 1 or 2 times, you're probably putting it in the back of the closet.
Yeah.
And
man,
Numbers Up, Milton Bradley.
Yeah, thanks for unlocking that memory for me.
Yeah, man.
All right, my turn with the letter O. And, well, don't be too mad at me, Chad. I'm going with another obvious one. Milton Bradley, 1965, Operation.
Okay, let's operate.
Operate.
Where's the dog?
It's Operation, the Wacky Doctor's game where you're the wacky doctor. Batteries not included.
I blew it. My turn. Take out a spare ribs for $100.
It takes a steady hand because if you touch the side...
Here goes the funny bone. Don't get nervous. I did it. That's $200.
Operation, a game from Milton Bradley.
That's okay. That's a classic.
Gotta have Operation.
Yep. So we all know this one, a dexterity game in which you must extract silly body parts from a hapless patient. To do this, you use a set of tweezers that are attached by wire to the game board. If you are sloppy and touch the metal sides of the hole where the item is located, the patient's pain is indicated by a sudden buzzer and light up nose. Man, no matter how many times you play this game, whenever you would hit the metal part and it would make that vibration and noise, man, it's a little jarring even to this day for me. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah, and in fact, when we had Wyatt on, we talked about anxiety-inducing games and Operation. That
yeah.
that buzzer, just the sound of it was enough to make you anxious, you know.
Yeah, I just came across this game. Now I'm kicking myself in the butt. We went rummage sailing, garage sales yesterday, and somebody had this game, and the box looked like it was actually, it did say it was the 1965 version. I should have bought it, but I left it there at the rummage sale. But now I wish I would have picked it up.
I don't. I can never have guessed that it was 1965. I would have guessed this was way later than that, I guess, but
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that old until I did the research as well.
Ken, I know in the Board Game Geek website it says they've had various editions like Shrek,
Yes.
Simpsons, Spider-Man, Star Wars, but you, I don't know, a few weeks ago you had something, you were playing around with Chat GPT and came up with something or had an idea for a Transformers one, which I thought, man, there's money on the table there.
Yeah, that would be a great crossover. You work on Optimus Prime or something, and yeah, take out various robotic pieces from him. Yeah, that would be a cool version.
Yeah, I love the crossovers if they make sense. You know, some crossovers are just like
Yeah,
too forced, but yeah,
Yep.
Operation, you could adapt that to pretty much any character. I mean, I imagine the one with well, it does say here Simpsons remove Homer's bowler's thumb,
yeah,
pot belly, foot in the mouth, rubber neck, trick knee. So
yeah.
anyway, very very good pick, man.
All right.
Definitely belongs in our discussion of board games. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Jeremy, back to you with letter P.
yes, letter P. So I'm going with the letter P. I'm going to go with another video game based board game. And we'll go with Pac-Man, released in 1982 by Milton Bradley.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Introducing Pac-Man, a new board game from MB Games. You control your Pac-Man as it gobbles up marbles and piles up the points. But watch out for the ghosts. You can move it in or out of the maze, or back in as long as you...
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
And the one who gobbles up most wins. And look out for Frogger, Donkey Kong, Zaxxon, Berserk, and Defender. And, of course, Pac-Man from MB Games.
Yes.
So I do remember having this as a kid and use the Pac-Man to basically move around the table and eat the marbles that are on the table.
Yeah.
Push down on the Pac-Man figure and it would actually gobble them up inside. So then
Now, I know.
you'd empty them out.
I know I had this game. I got this for Christmas, and I believe it was 1982. So I did have this game. Yeah, I loved it.
This would be one I would love to have in the box because the box art is cool. The
Yeah.
iconic the imagery of Pac-Man, just what that character meant to the video game industry, and then even the I mean, is there another video game that better suits a board game than this Pac-Man? Because that's pretty
Right.
much all Pac-Man was on the video screen was just a board game on the TV, you know, or on
Yeah.
the arcade cabinet. So yeah, this is cool. Like and you know, stands the test of time, you know, how important he is. I mean, you had one of his on the recurrent events, Ken, you had the Pac-Man, was it called shorts or
Oh,
the
yeah, the Pac-Man snack breaks. Yeah, the
snack
YouTube
breaks?
shorts. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we always love a good discussion based around Pac-Man. So
Yeah.
good pick there, Jeremy.
Jeremy,
did you own this game? Sorry.
I believe we had this one. It was either us or one of the friends had it, but I do remember playing it. But I think it was us that had it.
Nice.
I love the little ghost figures, man, because they, you know, just like their counterparts on the video screen, they're pretty real to life, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, Milton Bradley, at it again.
There they are again.
Yeah. Alrighty. My letter Q. This was a tough one.
Yeah.
Interested to see if you guys ever played this one.
All
This
right.
is from 1989, Parker Brothers. This is called Quicksand.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this one it's 1 to 4 players. It's basically a board game. You traverse the board. You be the first to get around by avoiding mudslides, quicksand, and alligators. So the 4 mustached British explorers basically have 4 pieces that stack on top of each other. So you have the first part are their feet, and then the next part are their legs, the next part is the torso, and then you have a head, and then you actually I guess it's 5 really, because then you have a hat, and then each level of as you traverse the board, you basically take and add pieces of your body that represents how deep you are in the quicksand. So sometimes on the board you might only see your head and your hat, and of course
Yeah.
you're trying to avoid being completely drowned in the quicksand. So I don't have much information other than that, and Q is always a tough letter no matter what your topic is. So any thoughts there or any experiences with quicksand from 1989?
No, man, this is a new one to me, but this board game and these pieces are awesome. I would like to own this one and play it. I never played this one back in the day.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I've never seen this one before either, but definitely would have loved playing this one.
Yeah, that's my cue. So had to get something. I don't really know if there was any other Q ones that I could have discussed, but
Yeah, good one. All right, back to me with the letter R. This is from 1982, and the publisher is Arxon, Arxon, and this game is called Rubik's Race.
Too bad you can't do Rubik's Cube, Dad. I can.
Okay, big shot. Let's see how good you are at Rubik's Race. It's Rubik's Race, where you race against your opponent to be the first to match the random color pattern in the scramble box. It's Rubik's Race. It's fast, crazy, speedy. It's Rubik's Race. It's swift, frantic, wild. It's Rubik's Race. Even a dad can win.
Sorry, Dad.
Sometimes. Rubik's Race from Ideal, the makers of Rubik's Cube.
So, based on the iconic Rubik's Cube puzzle created by Erno Rubik, the game is designed to test players' memory, pattern recognition, and speed skills in a fast-paced race to match the pattern on the board. The game comes with the Scrambler box, a 5x5 slide puzzle tray for each player with 1 tile missing. The border is a row of tiles around the center pattern, and the colored tiles for each player to complete the puzzle. So basically, it's like a race against time. You shake the scrambler to randomize the pattern, and then you observe the pattern and start sliding the tiles into place to match the pattern on the scrambler. The first player to complete the pattern pulls the frame down on their side of the game and declares themselves the winner. So yeah, man, I remember playing this game at my cousin's house a lot. And it was good for a fast-paced memory game. So I remember having fun playing this one. How about you guys? You remember this one at all?
I don't remember this one, but I do remember seeing it. We just never had it.
Okay.
And I would say this is very reminiscent of Battleship, with this back-to-back boards, So
Yeah.
you're across the table there from your opponent, racing against time and stuff. So yeah, good pick there. Looks like tons of versions have existed.
Yeah, over the years, yeah.
And they even changed it one year to Square Up instead of Rubik's Race. So
I see that, yeah.
good pick there.
All right.
All right, Jeremy, I think you're up with letter S.
So for the letter S, I've got to give a shout out to Jim from the Busy Signal podcast.
Nice.
Because I had forgotten all about this, and to get ready for this episode, I listened to, he's got a 4-part board game episodes.
Yeah.
I can listen to, and he had brought up Shark Attack from 1988 by Milton Bradley.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Shark attack! This shark is like a maniac!
It's Shark Attack. Just roll the dice, and when your color comes up, move your fish fast.
The fish that survives will be the winner. So don't be last or you'll be the dinner. Shark attack! What are you gonna do? It's coming! It's coming! It's coming! It's coming to get you!
Sink your teeth into Shark Attack.
I don't know if you guys have played this one, but you get that massive shark, motorized shark in the middle, and you're trying to roll the dice and get away from it as fast as possible. And I think the winner is the person that doesn't get eaten.
Yeah.
So I do remember having this one.
Man, I know I didn't have this one, but this is another one that looks awesome with the shark piece on the board there, and the cover art is great as well. Again,
Yeah,
do you remember the commercial?
I do. Yeah,
you remember the commercial? Yep, the whole Shark Attack commercial.
Yeah,
I do not. No,
that's my fond memory of that. I never played the game, but I remember seeing it on early days of Nickelodeon and stuff.
Interesting thing about this one, I didn't know there was a travel edition. I don't even know how that would have worked out in the car. But
Oh, Milton Bradley did a lot of those travel editions. You know, anything that they can miniaturize and market on road trips, man. I had several of them, and yeah, that'd be a little difficult, but I'm sure they figured something out. And Ken,
yeah.
Well, I would say 13 years after the big 1975 Jaws. So they were a little late in capitalizing on the whole, but there were sequels to Jaws. So,
yeah,
now this is not affiliated with Jaws at all, but I could see that being a crossover,
right.
Putting that Jaws logo on the board game.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah. Cool pick, man. And I'm a big fan of the games that are just more that are taking a 2D element and making it 3D. So the addition of the shark being, gives it just a little bit more excitement for a child who, would probably not know any better and just feels more of excitement for the board game. So good pick.
It's another board game I would love to find.
Oh yeah. Yep. Alrighty. My letter T is a game we probably have all played it. It's been around for a long time. Trivial Pursuit.
Nice.
This was invented in Canada in 1981. It's published by Parker Brothers, but then later Hasbro. It's from 2 to 6 players. The object of the game is to move around a circular board and answer trivia questions, and you earn 6 different color wedges from categories. The categories are geography, entertainment, history, art/literature, science/nature, and sports/leisure. The game is so iconic that it was inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame in 2025, last year. And since its inception, many themed editions have been released. There have also been TV game shows adapted from the board game, made, including in 1993, hosted by Wink Martindale. 2008, they came out with a version hosted by Christopher Knight of Brady Bunch fame.
Oh, yeah.
And more recently, a 2024 version hosted by LeVar Burton, the host of Reading Rainbow back in the day.
Right.
So, yeah, man, just, a good old-fashioned trivia game. The board game element is just merely just a way to, answer the different categories and trying to collect your little pie pieces. So, you guys played Trivial Pursuit once or twice before, I would imagine.
This is actually probably
Go ahead, Jeremy.
one of the games that I played the most as a kid. I remember we'd go camping a lot on weekends as kids, and of course you don't have cable, you don't have nothing to do out there at night times except for play board games. And I remember playing this a lot with the family. A lot of good memories.
Yeah. Yeah, Chad, I remember, man, either going over to aunts and uncles' houses or people coming to our houses, and man, they would have very competitive Trivial Pursuit games, man. There were many nights where these games would go on forever. And yeah, man, still friendly in nature, but yeah, very competitive between the aunts and uncles and things like that. So yeah, man. And then I believe there was a junior edition as well for kids. So yeah, we played that one too.
I'm sure part of those epic nights, with families going all night playing was, you had probably had somebody in the group that debated the validity of the answer that was
Yes.
on the card.
Yes.
You know?
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's, yeah, probably a lot of good memories of family board game night with Trivial
Right.
Pursuit.
Yep.
Much like, Monopoly could be, where it could just go on and you finally just have to pull the plug somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. A house full of cigarette smoke and Trivial Pursuit, man.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Ken, you're up. What's
All
your
right.
letter?
I
Oh,
got
you.
you.
Okay. That's another tough one.
This one was a tough one. So this is a game that I never heard of or never played, but it started with the letter U, so I picked it. This is from publisher Amigo from 1999 called Union Pacific. This is a competitive board game that was released in 1999. Is designed to take on the role of a railroad baron as they compete to build the most profitable railway network. The game has a runtime of approximately 90 minutes and recommended for age 12 and up. There's a lot to go through here, so I'm just going to kind of give the short version. The game objective: gain majority control of the most lucrative U.S. railway lines before dividends are given out. Players draw railway share cards from face up piles on the deck. Players can exchange cards in their hand for Union Pacific stock. Players use track cards to expand companies, increasing their value. And the game ends after the fourth dividend round with the player having the most money declared the winner. So yeah, this game, man, I just picked it because it started with the letter U. This sounds like too much information and too much to remember. So I would probably never play this game.
This, to me, the board. This is y'all ever heard of Catan, the game that people play now, Settlers of Catan? It's a
Yeah.
board game, very very strategy. Almost like trying to claim stake in territory. But this, to me, man, this is like Monopoly on the railroad.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to looking at the board game. You've got a board game of the entire country, continental U.S. So
Right.
you're just trying to take ownership of the railroad. Yeah, this seems like it would be a long night of
Yeah.
of
Yeah, I know there's pieces everywhere and cards everywhere in this picture, so that's very complicated.
Right.
Yeah, just the images alone kind of induce some anxiety for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some of these picks, man, you just had to go with what the letter started with, because
Yep,
yeah,
that's for sure.
you would have never came up with it on your own. So
No.
Letter V. So I've got VH1 pop-up game, which was released in 1999 by Pressman Toy Corp.
Nice.
So it was based on the popular VH1 television show Pop-Up Video, which aired music videos and pop-up facts and trivia. The game incorporates elements from the show, such as music trivia questions and challenges, making it a challenge and engaging experience for fans of popular culture and music. So it actually came with
I love that show back in the day, man.
Yeah. I always enjoyed that too. It actually came with a piece that you would slide the cards into so that you could see the answers, like a red screen, and they didn't show up until you put the card in there.
Yeah, I never knew that this game existed. I always just remember the show on VH1. I didn't know there was a game that went with it.
I didn't either, but this one looked enjoyable to me, and we never had it.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, it was a great time in television when you had MTV, which were actually still doing music at the time, and then VH1 coming with a little bit more adult contemporary stuff, a little bit less hip hop and rap and rock. You had more of the soft rock over on VH1. So that pop-up video was a great concept in an age before the internet, where we would just look stuff up on Wikipedia. I mean, this was a great tool to then take to your friends and try to stump them on trivia there. And I was just thinking, Ken, if we ever see this board game out in the wild, we should grab it and play
Yeah,
it on air.
that would be great. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, man. I love it, and it's probably got a lot of good 80s and 90s song trivias on it. So yeah, man, that'd
Right.
be a fun one.
Yeah, that would be.
Good pick there, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Alrighty, my letter. I think it's my letter W. Now, Ken, you mentioned earlier about the some of the board games that had a VHS, and this is going
Yes.
to be one of those games. Um, the WWF WrestleMania VCR game.
Oh man.
Now, this one I think it has Hogan and Andre. I think it's on the cover of the box. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But this is in 1988, so we are after the WrestleMania 3 where Andre gets slammed by Hogan. And this comes from Acclaim Entertainment. Acclaim did a lot in video games, but this was sort of their try at doing a board game. But they actually did a lot of these VHS board games that would involve the use of your VCR, including the one that Ken you mentioned, the NFL VCR quarterback.
Yeah.
You also had VCR golf,
Okay.
VCR hockey, VCR basketball, and these were licensed by the league. So the quarterback one had the NFL on it, the basketball had the NBA, and of
Yeah.
course the wrestling one had the WWF. Now, you guys, if you, I challenge you guys sometime this week, go on YouTube and search the WWF VCR game because there are a few people who have reviewed this game and everybody is saying that this game is god awful. The if you just listen to them talk about the rules, it is so convoluted that you don't even realize. I don't think you can get through 5 minutes without understanding like what to do in what scenario.
Yeah.
The only real prize here is the tape itself.
Yeah.
Imagine in 1988, you don't have YouTube, we don't have the internet, so you might catch WWF on weekends and on network TV, but on
Yeah.
VHS, you probably would just pop in this tape and watch the tape with just the little
Yeah.
clips and not
Yeah.
even play the board game. But it was very the rules were really bad and overly complicated. Um, and then basically what you did when you landed on a certain space on the board game, you would hit play on your VCR and you would play the clip. And then after the clip, it would tell you to pause it. So you were basically watching the same tape over and over. So again, the gameplay on this is probably the worst in terms of all of our games we might have talked here about here tonight. But I had to include it because of course, we love wrestling and
Right.
if I were to see this out in the wild, I definitely would pick it up just to
Yeah.
display on a shelf, but would definitely not play it. But yeah, you have to watch the some of the people on YouTube review this game because they couldn't even. It was hard to actually film and explain the actual rules of the game. So
Now that Chad, now that I'm looking at the board game cover and the board game itself, I may have had this back then.
really,
I don't really remember playing it, but just looking at the cover and the board game is kind of bringing back a little bit some kind of memory. So I may have had this.
We did not have this one, but I remember wanting this one for sure.
Yeah.
That was back when we only had one VCR player, so I don't know how that would have went over with the parents anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, good on Acclaim to capitalize because VCRs and I think the Retroist or somebody he has a great podcast episode on the early days of VCRs and Betamax and the format wars. But there in the late 70s, early 80s, those VCRs were like $2,000 or $3,000, and it probably was around the late 80s where the VCRs started coming down in price. So good on Acclaim to try to do something outside the box, utilizing a device that a lot of people were investing in at the time. It probably seemed cool. And of course, you had the explosion of the WWF at the perfect time. But yeah, this one should have probably just left as a tape, and so it's not really include a board game, because I don't even think you don't even have you have cards and stuff like that, but I don't even think they're really, are there even game pieces other than just little square pegs? It just
Yeah.
seemed like there was a lot more they could have did with the actual game, other than just trying to utilize the tape with the clips.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I think a lot of the VCR the quarterback one, the NBA one, are probably all the same. You just old clips back in the 80s of the
Yep.
certain games, and then that's pretty much the
Yeah.
only meat on the bone on those things. So
Yeah. Good pick, though.
thank you.
All right. My last pick. We're starting to round out the episode here. My last pick is X, and it is from 1994 from the Pressman Toy Corporation, X-Men Crisis in the Danger Room. So this is a board game, 1994. It's a 3D board game featuring various obstacles like fire hazards, walls, bridges, and towers. So you get two sets of tokens, the hero tokens representing X-Men characters such as Wolverine, Cyclops, and others. And then you have villain tokens that have Sabretooth, Apocalypse, Magneto, and Juggernaut. It comes with a spinner, obstacle tiles, a lockup door, which is a mechanism to capture and store villain tokens. Gameplay, the objective, capture all 4 villains by landing on the correct colored spaces on the board and successfully overcoming obstacles. Players spin to determine how many spaces to move and which color to aim for. Land on a space with a villain token to capture it and place it in the lockup door. Overcoming obstacles. Spin the correct color to navigate through fire. Climb walls, cross bridges, and climb towers. It doesn't really say here how you actually win the game, but for X, it was a hard pick, so I just picked something that I kind of knew, the X-Men, and yeah, that's my final pick for X. So, yep, Crisis in the Danger Room from 1994.
Looks like a good game. I've never played it, but
Yeah, it
Yeah,
could
and
be fun.
early 90s, the comic book boom,
Yeah.
X-Men, you had the animated series on TV coming and stuff. So,
Right.
and I love the 3D aspect, not a lot of board games, if they, could have put a more 3D element into their board games, but yeah, man, that always makes it a little bit more fun.
Yep. All right.
And that's a hard letter, man.
It
There's
is.
not
It
many
is.
choices.
not a whole lot of picks there.
No. All right, Jeremy, your last pick, letter Y. What you got?
My last pick is one that probably everybody's played. So let's go with Yahtzee for Milton Bradley.
Oh, yeah.
So this game originally came out in 1956. So rolling dice and writing it down for scores and trying to get the right combinations. So I remember having a travel version of this as a kid.
I had the travel version as well, and yeah, play it in the car, and you definitely need more than one player to, you got to compete against somebody. So
yeah, I like the game. We played it a lot back when I was a kid.
So just a couple interesting facts. This spun off 2 short-lived television game shows, 1975 and 1988. And also, what do you think the highest score possible in Yahtzee is?
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
500?
It's 1,575.
That would be like a perfect game in bowling.
Involves throwing 13 Yahtzees.
Jeez. Yeah, never been done unless you cheated.
Do you guys know what the lowest score would be then?
I don't know. Would it be 0?
Lowest score possible is 5, which is achieved by scoring 5 ones chance and scoring 0 points in every other category.
Wow.
I got you. Yeah, I guess it's no possible way to get a 0. Yeah, I remember this one, you had to have that score pad, that to keep track, and it was,
Yep.
you'd always, and sometimes you'd keep the scores in the box for the next time. You'd be like, hey, remember I beat you last time and stuff.
Right.
I play a game now. I'm kind of almost addicted to it on my phone. It's called Farkle. Are you guys ever played Farkle?
I've heard of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I play that often on my phone, just kill time. But it's very much like Yahtzee. But you're trying to get big scores and stuff. But yeah, this one, man, this is timeless to me. Like,
Yeah,
I
classic.
remember playing it as a kid, and it's a little, not for you're going to need to be like a young teen because there's nothing exciting about the game. But it's not strategy either. You're just trying to. It's more luck and chance involved. But definitely there is some strategy involved in terms of which ones you play on which turns. So.
Yeah, a little more relaxing gameplay, I think.
Yeah, I could see definitely this could be one, like you said, Ken, with Trivial Pursuit. The adults get in the room, the kids go into their rooms and play, and the
Right.
adults are out there playing Yahtzee, drinking and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Also, too, this one was probably did a lot of electronic handheld games.
Oh yeah.
Before mobile, there was those Tiger games and those handhelds. Yahtzee would be an easy one to port over to that.
Yep.
And do you remember the travel version having the one long bar filled with the dice? And you just kind of shook it up and let it roll to what it was
man.
So the dice couldn't fall out of there.
Yeah, it was a memory unlocked because I remember that little. It was blue, and
Yep.
and it was genius because like how were you gonna roll the dice on the seat of the car? So you basically rubbed your hand over the little container. It was all 6 of them in a row, and then you push the bottom and it push it out, and it'd be like simulating a roll. But yeah, man, that's a core memory for me.
Yep.
And that had to be Milton Bradley, I would think, because Milton Bradley did a lot of those travel games.
That was Milton Bradley, yes.
Yeah, good pick, man. And
Thank you.
yeah, I don't know how much others wise you could have went on there either.
That was another hard one.
Yeah,
there was only one answer to that one as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I will conclude our picks here with the last pick, the last letter Z, another tough one, but I'm gonna go with one called. This is triple letter score for me, Ken. This is Zigzag Zoom.
All right.
Zigzag Zoom, the exciting new game of skill and family fun. Roll your marbles around the 1, 2, 3, into the 5 hole. Scales up, zigging, zagging, into the gutter, no score. Tommy's down to his last marble. He needs that tough 10 to beat Dad's total. Around the 1, 2, 3, 5, in the 10.
I win!
Zigzag Zoom from Ideal.
This is a 1970s marble game invented by Ideal. So there's that name again.
Yeah.
This is for 2 to 4 players. And this one was pretty cool. I could definitely see this. This was before the electronic era of board games and when they started becoming more electronic in the 80s.
Yeah.
This one, each player chooses a marble and you roll your marble down a slightly declined and concave playing board. And you're trying to make your marble sort of zigzag around the holes. And basically, the further you make it down the board, the more points you get. So there was nothing to this game other than just how you rolled your marble. And because of the concave board, when you rolled your marble, it would sort of weave in and out. And you're just trying to weave around the little holes. And it was almost like golf, where you're just trying to perfect your motion, your hand motion there to get that marble to go in. So you play with 2 players and you just back and forth, quick and easy. But Zigzag Zoom, does anybody have any memories of that? I would guess probably not.
No, that predates me by 4 years. I don't ever remember seeing this or playing this at all. But yeah, that's definitely a 70s game.
Yeah, I don't remember this one either. But it looks like there's a track on the side, even if you went too far, maybe, and it would go in that slot and go all the way down the end. You would get no points, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. I did watch a couple of guys play it on YouTube, which man, it's great to have YouTube as a you can see people board game reviewers that grab
Yep.
their hands on it and stuff. But yeah, nothing too complex about it. You're just trying to get that marble around those holes. So yeah, we're gonna end our discussion with Zigzag Zoom.
Nice.
Well, guys, that does it. That wraps it up. A to Z. I thought we all brought some good picks to the table. Ken, what did you think of our show?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I learned a couple things here, some games that I never heard of that now I know. That Chad, you unlocked that one memory for me with the numbers up. And yeah, great show. Great. There's so many board games out there that to choose from, but yeah, I think we did a good job tonight.
Yeah, and Jeremy, man, your first time with us here on the show. Thought you had great contributions. What are your thoughts of tonight's show?
Well, thank you. I thought everything went really good. We had some good picks, a lot of memories and things that definitely didn't remember till I started looking up.
Yeah, and that Board Game Geek website, it has pretty much a treasure trove of every board game that's been ever
Yeah.
invented, with rules and screenshots and stuff like that. Go to eBay and see if you could find these games in their packaging, man. Board games are one of those things, man. There's a lot of core memories for people of our age, right? Unfortunately, when video games started becoming more in the home, I think a lot of board game playing sort of ceased or become far less than what it did prior to video games. Would you all agree?
Oh yeah, I definitely agree to that.
Definitely
Yeah.
agree.
I'll say now though, if you go into Target or Walmart and stuff like that, they have so many board games now, and a lot of them are card based.
Yes.
It's like what did we say? Words Against Humanity,
Yeah.
things like that. Cards Against Humanity. Sorry, there's a lot of those games, and if you're traveling with family and just pick up one of those games. There's tons of them out there, man. It just kind of it gives you have a nice little family game night there with people. It's quick to play. I mean, not a whole lot of boards anymore. I mean, a lot of them are card game. We I don't know if about you guys, but I play a lot of games that involve your TV. We have a few games that we like to play when sometimes family comes over. They're drawing games, but what you do is you use your mobile to draw something, and then what it does, it utilizes your smart TV to air. So basically, your board is really the TV screen. So we play that a lot, and they have some funny drawing games, almost like Pictionary. Things back in the day you would have a win, lose, or draw. The TV show from back in the '80s. So there's with the advent of technology and smartphones, there's a lot of games like that where you involve your TV to sort of be the central focus of a family game night. So,
yep. Unfortunately, people don't get together as much as they used to play board games, and that's sad.
Yeah,
it is. It's definitely something that technology has connected us electronically, and sometimes that is all what people like to get together for. So, yeah, it's one of those things though, very nostalgic to folks like us, and I'm glad we were able to unlock some memories. And Ken, I thought we had a good show, and thought Jeremy was a great guest.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, great guest. We are glad to have you on, Jeremy. Before we get out of here, is there anywhere people can find you on social media or anywhere like that?
I'm probably the worst social media guy in the world. I don't really do a whole lot of social media. Just kind of keep up with family and
okay.
Follow you guys, of course. That's about it.
All right.
I say, Ken, the best way to keep up with Jerospace is listen to each episode of the Retro Resurgence.
Yeah.
Because he's sure to throw in a comment or two. And, you even mentioned our buddy Jim, Busy Signal. He's become a good friend of ours as well. So,
yeah.
Anytime you want to shout out Jim, that's always a plus in our book. We like Jim, and he's got some great content over there as well. So yeah,
Right.
you mentioned his board game episodes. He's got probably several of those in the can that he can go back and look at his archives. So, well, Ken, I think maybe, you know, we now that our listeners have now put our loyal listeners' name with his voice, you know, maybe we'll have Jeremy back some other episode, back some other retro topic. What do you say?
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have him back. We liked having him here, and yeah, man, we'll just have to come up with the right topic. But yeah, definitely we'll have him back here.
Well, let me say it's just an honor to be here, and especially with the big ABC episode, which was one of my favorites back in the day with Wyatt and Jason and Mickey back then too.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be a part of that tradition, I guess.
Yeah, we always say Jason and Mickey were the originators of the ABC format. So, yeah, shout out to them as inspiration for us doing our thing. And Jeremy, anytime you want to jump on with us, man, you don't have to twist our arm, man. You just tell us when, and we'll get on and record. We love talking like-minded folks like you, and then talking anything retro is always up our alley.
Well, thank you. I will definitely be here again.
Well, Ken, you know, we are taking this little time here to interrupt our summer break, but I'd say let's get back to the break, and let's tell the folks we got a few more weeks until we're back, correct?
Yeah, we're going to be back mid-August with our episode coming back from the summer break. And I believe the next episode coming will be the Mount Rushmore of Kevin Bacon films, I believe, Chad.
Yeah, it'd be one of my picks. Kevin Bacon, one of those actors that, you know, probably don't think of top billing in a lot of blockbusters, but somebody who's had a lengthy career and done a lot of different type of movies. So yeah, a little bit of a Kevin Bacon retrospect of his filmography. Yeah. So coming out of the break, man, that's where you'll hear us in August. So yeah, man, I guess guys, just continue to enjoy your summer. And we'll see you next time on the Retro Resurgence. For our newcomer friend Jeremy and Ken, this is Chad signing off, and have a good summer, guys.
Yep. See you later.
That's it for today's Retro Ride. Thanks for listening.
You can find us on all podcast platforms, including now YouTube. So follow the show and share it with somebody who loves nostalgia.
Got something retro you want us to cover? Or feedback in general? Message us on Instagram at The Retro Resurgence.
Or send us an email at theretroresurgence@gmail.com.
Finally, you can also find us on our website, www.theretroresurgence.com, or at our good friends, the Retro Network's website as well, www.theretronetwork.com.
Because the past isn't gone.
It's just waiting to be unlocked.
I'm Chad.
And I'm Ken.
Keep it retro. See you next time.
This has been a presentation of the Retro Network.